Admiral Kangde sat in his command chair watching the stars through the massive windows of Deep Space Station 7. The station floated in the darkness between Earth and Mars, listening to the galaxy beyond. For 20 years he had watched these same stars, hoping to find signs of other life. Today felt different. The communication center buzzed with activity. Red lights flashed across the control panels. Kangde stood up and walked toward the noise. His boots clicked against the metal floor as he moved through the corridors of the station. Dr. Park. Nari looked up from her computer screen. Her eyes were wide with excitement and fear. She had been Earth's best language expert for 15 years. She could speak 12 human languages and had created programs to understand alien speech. Today, her skills would change everything. "Admiral," she said, her voice shaking, "you need to see this." The main screen showed waves of data flowing like a river of light. The patterns were complex and beautiful. They came from the center of the galaxy where billions of stars burned bright. The signal was stronger than anything they had ever received. "How long has this been coming in?" Kangde asked. 3 hours, Nari replied. "It started weak, but now it fills our entire detection system. This is not natural. Someone is sending this on purpose." Captain Li Yun entered the room. He was young but experienced, having commanded supply runs to the outer planets for 5 years. His uniform was clean and pressed, ready for duty at any moment. "What do we have?" Li Yun asked. Nari touched her screen and the signal changed into patterns they could understand. "I have been working to decode this. The mathematics are amazing. Whoever sent this understands physics better than we do." The patterns on the screen shifted and formed shapes. Slowly, words appeared in English. The translation program had worked. The message was clear and terrible. "Urgent transmission to all space-capable species. The Galactic Coalition requests immediate assistance. We are under attack by an unknown enemy. Our worlds are being destroyed. We have avoided contact with your species due to your violent nature and primitive technology. This restriction is now lifted. We need help." The room became silent. 3 humans stared at words that changed. Their understanding of the universe. They were not alone. They never had been. "There is more," Nari said. She touched the screen again. New words appeared. "The Devourers consume everything. They take planets and turn them into parts of their collective mind. 17 species fight together, but we are losing. 40% of our territory is gone." They moved toward the core worlds. Pictures followed the words. Images of space battles filled the screen. Strange ships fought against dark crystalline forms that moved like living things. Planets burned and broke apart. Millions of beings fled their homes. The coalition includes the Vex, the Harmony Singers, the Builders, and 14 other species. We have lived in peace for 3,000 years. We do not know how to fight a war like this. Your species comes from a death world. Your planet kills its own children to make them strong. We need that strength now. Kangde felt his hands shake. Earth was called a death world. Other species thought humans were dangerous because they came from a dangerous place. Earth had storms that could destroy cities, earthquakes that could split continents, and diseases that could kill millions. Humans survived because they learned to fight everything, including each other. "How do they know about us?" Li Yun asked. "They have been watching," Nari replied. "Look at this part." The message continued. "We have observed your species for 200 years. Your wars are terrible, but you survive them. Your planet tries to kill you, but you make it serve you. You fight each other, but unite when facing outside threats. We need warriors. We need Deathworlders." More images showed human history. Pictures of ancient battles, world wars, and the colonization of Mars. The aliens had watched humans struggle and survive. They had seen the worst of humanity, but also understood what that meant. Attached are star charts, technology specifications, and tactical data. The enemy approaches our core systems. If we fall, they will spread through the galaxy. Your world will eventually be consumed. Help us. And we will share our knowledge, fail to help, and all life ends. The transmission included detailed information about faster-than-light travel, energy weapons, and shield technology. Earth scientists would need years to understand it all. The aliens were giving humanity the tools to reach the stars. We need to contact Earth Command immediately, Conde said. Within hours, every leader on Earth knew about the message. Presidents, prime ministers, and generals gathered in emergency meetings. Some wanted to help. Others feared a trap. Many wondered if humanity was ready for galactic war. Dr. Parknari worked through the night to understand more of the alien data. She learned about species that lived underwater, beings made of living metal, and creatures that existed as pure energy. The galaxy was full of wonders that humans had never imagined. Captain Li Yun studied the tactical information. The Devourers were unlike any enemy humans had faced. They did not negotiate or retreat. They consumed everything in their path and grew stronger with each victory. Standard military tactics meant nothing against them. The debate on Earth continued. For 3 days, then a second transmission arrived. This one was weaker and filled with static. The message was short. Core worlds under siege. Need help now, please. The signal cut out. Silence returned to the galaxy. Admiral Conde stood before the leaders of Earth in a video conference that connected every continent. His voice was steady, but his message was clear. We have a choice. We can hide on Earth and hope the Devourers never find us. Or we can help strangers who are fighting for their lives. These aliens called us Deathworlders. They think we are dangerous. Maybe it is time to show them they are right. The vote was unanimous. Earth would respond to the Galactic SOS. Not with a single ship or a small fleet. Earth would send everything. Every warship, every soldier, every weapon they possessed would join the fight. Humanity was going to war among the stars. Fleet Admiral Kim Jun stood on the bridge of the massive warship Thunder of Earth. Around him, the greatest fleet in human history prepared for departure. 2,847 ships filled the space around Earth like a metal cloud. Each vessel carried weapons, soldiers, and the hopes of 8 billion people. Kim Jun was 50 years old and had commanded fleets in the Mars Independence War and the asteroid belt conflicts. He understood space combat better than any human alive. Today, he would lead humanity's children into the unknown darkness between stars. Admiral, all ships report ready for departure, said his communications officer. Through the massive windows of his bridge, Kim Jun could see the fleet stretching beyond the horizon. Dreadnoughts as long as cities floated next to quick-attack ships no bigger than houses. Carrier vessels held thousands of fighter craft. Supply ships carried enough food and ammunition to fight for years. Colonel Choi Soo walked onto the bridge. She wore the black uniform of Earth's Special Operations Command. Her soldiers were trained to fight in any environment, from the frozen moons of Jupiter to the burning deserts of Venus. They could survive in vacuum, underwater, or in toxic atmospheres that would kill normal humans. My teams are ready, Admiral, she said. We have studied the alien data about Devourer tactics. We know what we are fighting. Kim Jun nodded. The Devourers were unlike any enemy humans had faced. They did not use traditional weapons or tactics. Instead, they consumed matter and energy, growing stronger with each victory. Human soldiers would need to adapt quickly or die in the engineering sections of the fleet. Obin worked with thousands of technicians to prepare humanity's weapons for galactic war. He was Earth's best military engineer, the man who had designed the particle cannons that ended the Luna Rebellion. His teams worked day and night to modify human technology using alien science. The new weapons are ready for testing, Obin reported through his communication device. We have taken human nuclear missiles and combined them with alien energy technology. The result should be devastating. The weapon testing took place in the empty space beyond Pluto. Obin's new creations turned asteroids into clouds of glowing dust. The explosions were so bright they could be seen from Earth. Human weapons had become something new and terrible. Captain Han Sol sat in the cockpit of her fighter craft, watching the weapon tests through her helmet display. She commanded Thunder Squadron, 48 of humanity's best pilots. They had trained for years in the deadly environment of Earth's atmosphere, learning to fly through storms and radiation that would destroy alien ships. "Look at that power," she said to her squadron over the radio. "The aliens have no idea what humans can do when we get angry." Her pilots laughed, but Han Solo knew many of them would not return from this war. The Devourers had destroyed fleets of alien ships. Human fighters would face enemies that could reshape matter with their thoughts. Only the strongest and smartest would survive. The alien technology fascinated human scientists. Faster than light travel worked by folding space, bringing distant stars close enough to reach in days instead of years. Energy shields could stop missiles and lasers. Gravity generators allowed ships to create their own artificial worlds, but humans added their own improvements. Where aliens built shields to protect, humans built shields to ram enemy ships. Where aliens used energy weapons for precision, humans used them to destroy everything in sight. Human engineers took peaceful technology and made it into tools of war. President Yute spoke to the fleet from Earth. Her image appeared on every ship's communication system. She was a small woman with gray hair, but her voice carried the authority of humanity's greatest leader. "You carry our hopes to the stars," she said. "The aliens called us Deathworlders. They said our planet made us strong by trying to kill us. Today we prove they were right. Go and show the galaxy what humans can do." The fleet began its departure in groups. The largest ships left first, their massive engines creating rivers of light that stretched across space. Smaller vessels followed, moving in perfect formation like schools of fish. Fighter squadrons danced between the larger ships, their pilots eager for battle. Kim Jun watched Earth grow smaller in his displays. The blue planet looked peaceful from space, but he knew it was the most dangerous world in the galaxy. Hurricanes that could destroy continents, earthquakes that could split mountains, and creatures that had learned to survive by becoming apex predators. Humans were the children of this world, shaped by its violence into something the galaxy had never seen. Colonel Choi Su trained her soldiers during the journey. They practiced fighting in zero gravity and toxic atmospheres and in the crystalline environments the Devourers preferred. Human soldiers learned to use alien weapons alongside their own, creating combinations that would surprise any enemy. "Remember," she told her troops, "the aliens think we are primitive. They believe our technology is weak and our tactics are simple. Let them think that. When they see what Earth's children can really do, it will be too late." Ben continued improving the fleet's weapons during the journey. He created new missiles that could track targets through hyperspace. He built bombs that could destroy entire moons. He designed armor that could protect human ships from weapons that bent reality itself. Captain Han Solo flew practice missions with her squadron, preparing for the battles ahead. They studied recordings of Devourer ships, learning their weaknesses and attack patterns. Human pilots discovered that their experience flying through Earth's dangerous atmosphere gave them advantages no alien pilot possessed. The journey to Coalition space would take 30 days. During that time, the human fleet would transform from a collection of Earth's warships into something new. They would become the instrument of humanity's will, carrying the fury of a death world to enemies who had never faced such determination. As the fleet moved through the darkness between stars, messages came from Earth, families sent love to their children, leaders sent orders and updates, scientists sent new discoveries about alien technology. But the most important message came from the children of Earth's schools. "Make them afraid," the message said. "Show them what happens when you threaten Earth's friends." The fleet flew on, carrying humanity's promise to the stars. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Coalition territory. What they found shocked even the most experienced commanders. Thousands of destroyed alien ships floated in the darkness like metal graveyards. Some vessels were cut in half, others had been twisted into impossible shapes. The Devourers had been here. Fleet Admiral Kim Jun studied the wreckage through his ship's sensors. The alien ships were beautiful even in death. Their hulls curved like works of art, painted in colors that humans had no names for. These had been ships of peace, not war. They were never meant to fight something like the Devourers. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission," reported his communications officer. The main screen showed a creature unlike anything humans had seen. It stood on two legs like a human, but its skin was covered in small scales that changed color with its emotions. Its head was long and narrow, with large eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. "I am Counselor Vex of the Galactic Coalition," the creature said. Its voice was translated by the ship's computers. "We welcome the humans to our territory, though we fear you have come too late." Ambassador Xin-Wu stepped forward. He had been chosen to represent humanity in its first contact with alien life. He was a diplomat who had ended wars on Earth and brought peace to the colonies. Today, he would speak for his entire species. "We received your call for help," Xin-Wu said. "Earth has sent its full military force to assist you." Vex's scales shifted to a deep blue color. "Full military force? How many ships?" 2,847 combat vessels, Kim Jun replied. The alien's eyes widened. Its scales turned bright yellow. "Impossible. No single species could build such a fleet." The largest coalition battle group contained 60 ships. Commander Bei Jun watched the alien's reaction with interest. He was Kim Jun's tactical specialist, a man who understood that wars were won through superior planning and overwhelming force. The aliens clearly did not think like humans. "Your species fights differently than ours," Bei Jun observed. "You build for exploration and science, we build for war." The human fleet moved toward Refuge Station Alpha, the Coalition's last major base in this sector. As they traveled, more alien ships joined them. The creatures that crewed these vessels were amazing to human eyes. Some looked like living trees with branches for arms. Others resembled jellyfish that floated through the air of their ships. Many were so strange that humans could barely understand how they lived. Dr. Lim Hana worked in her laboratory aboard the fleet's research vessel. She was Earth's leading expert on alien biology, a woman who had spent her life studying the strange creatures that lived in Earth's deepest oceans. Now she applied that knowledge to understanding beings from other worlds. "The Coalition species are all peaceful by nature," she reported to Kim Jun. "They evolved without predators. Their worlds are safe. They do not understand violence the way humans do." This explained much about the war. The Coalition had advanced technology and vast resources, but they lacked the warrior instincts that came from growing up on a death world. They built beautiful ships and amazing cities, but they did not know how to fight for their lives. General Seo Kyung commanded the fleet's ground forces. She was a veteran of the Titan colony wars where human soldiers had fought in methane storms and gravity fields that could crush unprotected bodies. Her troops were ready to fight anywhere, under any conditions. "We will show them how Earth's children wage war," she told her officers. The first battle came sooner than expected. The Devourers attacked the Helios system while the human fleet was still organizing with Coalition forces. The enemy appeared without warning, their crystalline ships moving like living things through space. Captain Han Sol led her fighter squadron into combat. The Devourers were unlike any enemy human pilots had faced. Their ships could change shape during battle, growing new weapons or armor as needed. They moved in perfect coordination, as if controlled by a single mind. "Stay close to each other," Han Sol ordered her pilots. "These things are smart, but they have never fought humans before." Human fighters moved through the enemy formation like sharks through a school of fish. Earth's pilots had learned to fly in atmospheric storms where the air itself tried to kill them. The vacuum of space was calm compared to the hurricanes of their homeworld. The main fleet engaged the Devourer capital ships. Coalition vessels fired their weapons with precision, targeting specific systems to disable rather than destroy. Human ships opened fire with every weapon they carried, aiming to completely annihilate their enemies. "Why do you not target their weapon systems?" asked Vex from his command ship. "Because dead enemies cannot fight back," Kim Jun replied. The battle raged for 6 hours. Human ships took damage but continued fighting. When Coalition vessels were disabled, human crews risked everything to rescue alien survivors. The aliens watched in amazement as humans treated strangers like family. General Seo Kyung's ground forces boarded damaged Devourer ships. The crystalline interior of the enemy vessels was like fighting inside a living jewel. Devourer warriors were made of the same crystal as their ships, beings of living mineral that could reshape themselves during battle. Human soldiers adapted quickly. They used plasma weapons to melt the crystal enemies and explosive charges to destroy the ships from within. The Devourers learned that humans could fight in any environment, no matter how strange or dangerous. Dr. Lim Hana studied captured Devourer fragments. She discovered that the creatures were vulnerable to certain metals found on Earth. Elements that were common on humanity's death world were poison to the crystal beings. "We can use this," she told Kim Jun. "Earth's toxic metals can become weapons." The battle ended with a coalition victory, but at a terrible cost. Many ships were destroyed and thousands of beings died. However, the aliens had learned something important about their human allies. Deathworlders did not just fight to win. They fought to protect others, even strangers they had never met. Ambassador Shin Woo met with coalition leaders after the battle. The aliens looked at humans differently now. They no longer saw primitive warriors. They saw protectors who would sacrifice everything to defend the innocent. "Your species is not what we expected," Vex said. "You are dangerous, but you use that danger to protect life." "That is what it means to be human," Shin Woo replied. President Yute stood in the Earth Command Center, watching displays that showed battles across the galaxy. The war had been raging for 6 months. Human fleets fought alongside coalition forces in dozens of star systems. They had won many battles, but the Devourers kept coming. For every enemy ship destroyed, 2 more appeared. Vice Admiral Wang Mei commanded the second human fleet at the front lines. She was younger than most admirals, but her tactical mind was brilliant. She had studied the Devourers more than anyone and understood their true nature. They were not just invaders. They were refugees fleeing something even worse. "The Devourers come from outside our galaxy," she reported to Earth Command. "They consumed their own galaxy and came here looking for new worlds to eat. But there is something behind them, something that scares them more than death." This discovery changed everything. The coalition had been fighting to defend their territory. Humans realized they were fighting to save the entire galaxy from becoming food for an endless hunger. Dr. Jung-ah worked in her laboratory on the research ship Discovery. She had taken Dr. Lim Hana's discovery about Earth metals and turned it into a weapon. The Deathworld torpedoes contained concentrated doses of elements that were toxic to crystal-based life. Each torpedo could destroy a Devourer ship with a single hit. "We have enough torpedoes to arm every ship in the combined fleet," she reported. "But we need to get close to their home system to use them effectively." The plan that emerged was impossible by coalition standards. Humans proposed a direct assault on the galactic core, where the Devourers had built their main base. Coalition species had never attempted such a dangerous mission. The core was protected by gravity wells that could tear ships apart and radiation that could cook crews alive. "Your plan is suicide," Counselor Vex told Vice Admiral Wang Mei during a strategy meeting. "No fleet has ever survived a journey to the galactic core." "No coalition fleet," Wang Mei replied. "But we are Deathworlders. We specialize in surviving impossible situations." Sergeant Park Dong prepared his boarding teams for the final assault. He had fought in every major battle of the war, leading human soldiers into the crystal hearts of Devourer ships. His men called him the Crystal Breaker because he had personally destroyed more enemy vessels than any other soldier. "This will be our hardest fight," he told his troops. "The Devourers will throw everything at us. But remember why we fight. We protect life. We protect the future." The combined fleet gathered at the edge of coalition space. 3,000 human ships and 800 coalition vessels prepared for the most dangerous journey in galactic history. They would travel to the center of the galaxy, where black holes and stellar storms made space itself a weapon. President Yu Tay spoke to the fleet one final time. Her words reached every human ship and many coalition vessels. The aliens had learned to understand human courage and wanted to hear from the leader of the Deathworlders. "My children," she said, "you carry more than weapons and hope. You carry the spirit of Earth, the world that made you strong by trying to kill you. Show the galaxy what that means." The journey to the galactic core took 3 weeks. Human ships led the way through areas of space that had never been explored. They navigated through gravity storms and radiation fields that would have destroyed normal vessels. Coalition ships followed in their wake. Protected by human shields and human courage, Vice Admiral Wang Mei commanded the assault from her flagship, Fury of Terra. She had studied every piece of data about the galactic core and planned the attack with scientific precision. 3 separate fleets would hit the Devour base from different directions, while boarding teams struck at the heart of their collective mind. The final battle began when the human fleet emerged from hyperspace inside the Devour home system. What they found defied imagination. The Devourers had consumed entire solar systems and rebuilt them into a single massive structure. Planets had been reshaped into crystal weapons. Stars had been caged and used as power sources. "All ships begin." "The attack," Wang Mei ordered. The space battle was unlike anything in galactic history. Thousands of ships fought in the gravity well of multiple black holes while stars exploded around them. Human vessels used their Deathworld toughness to survive conditions that would have destroyed any other fleet. Captain Hansel led her fighter squadrons deep into the enemy structure. Human pilots flew through crystal corridors the size of moons, dodging weapons that could reshape reality. They delivered Deathworld torpedoes to critical targets while enemy forces tried to stop them. Sergeant Park Dong and his boarding teams fought their way to the center of the Devourer collective mind. The heart of the enemy was a crystal the size of a city, pulsing with the thoughts of billions of consumed beings. Human soldiers placed nuclear charges around it while Devourer warriors fought to stop them. "For Earth," Park Dong shouted as he activated the final bomb. The explosion tore through the Devourer structure like a chain reaction. Crystal formations that had taken centuries to grow shattered in seconds. The collective mind that had controlled the invasion screamed as it died, its voice echoing across space. But victory came at a terrible price. Hundreds of human ships were destroyed in the assault. Thousands of brave soldiers gave their lives to plant the charges that ended the threat. President Yu Tay watched the casualty reports with tears in her eyes. Knowing that Earth's children had saved the galaxy, the surviving Devourers fled back into the darkness between galaxies. Without their collective mind to guide them, they became lost and scattered. The threat to galactic civilization was over. In the aftermath of victory, the Coalition formally invited humanity to join their alliance. Earth became the military heart of galactic civilization, with human fleets protecting peaceful species across the stars. Memorial stations were built to honor the humans who had died saving strangers they had never met. Vice Admiral Wang Mei stood on the bridge of her flagship, looking out at the stars. Young Coalition officers worked alongside human crew members, learning the warrior ways of the Deathworlders. The galaxy had learned that sometimes the most dangerous worlds produced the best protectors. The war was over, but humanity's greatest adventure had just begun.